Hello and welcome back to the only channel brave enough to ask the truly forbidden questions, like why didn't the wizarding world just use a Fidelius charm on the concept of taxes? Today we are not just looking at a spell, we are looking at the single piece of magic that acts as the linchpin for the entire Harry Potter saga. It is the reason Harry is an orphan, the reason Sirius went to Azkaban, and the reason the entire story even happens. And I am here to tell you, it is completely and utterly broken. This is not a minor inconsistency or a fun little what-if scenario. This is a foundational crack in the very logic of the wizarding world, a plot hole so massive it threatens to swallow the entire narrative whole. I am talking, of course, about the Fidelius charm, the one spell that was supposed to be the ultimate protection, but whose own rules make the most pivotal moment in the entire story a complete and total nonsense. So grab your tinfoil hats, because we are diving deep. First, let's establish what the Fidelius charm is supposed to do, according to the books. Professor Flitwick gives us the primary definition in Prisoner of Azkaban. It is an immensely complex spell involving the magical concealment of a secret inside a single living soul. The information is hidden inside the chosen person, the secret keeper, and is henceforth impossible to find unless the secret keeper chooses to divulge it. He even says Voldemort could have his nose pressed up against their sitting room window and never find them. This sounds like the perfect protection, right? The ultimate magical safe house. This is exactly what the Potters needed. So, James and Lily Potter go into hiding, using the charm to conceal their location in Godric's Hollow. They need to choose a secret keeper, the one person who can tell others where they are. This is the single most important decision of their lives, and the entire fate of their family and the wizarding world rests on this choice. They choose their best friend, Sirius Black. Or so everyone thought. In a secret, last-minute switch, they decide to use Peter Pettigrew instead. The logic, as explained by Sirius, was that Voldemort would expect them to use their best friend, making Sirius the obvious target, so they used a less obvious friend as a brilliant double bluff. Pettigrew, the weak and unassuming friend, would be the last person anyone would suspect. Of course, we all know how that turned out. Pettigrew betrayed them, Voldemort found them, and the rest is tragic history. This is the bedrock of the entire series. Pettigrew's betrayal is what sets everything in motion. But what if I told you the entire reason for choosing Pettigrew was based on a complete misunderstanding of the very charm they were using? This is where the plot hole opens up. We need to look at a critical piece of information that is revealed much later in Deathly Hallows. When explaining the charm's mechanics, it is stated that the secret must be given willingly. It cannot be forced, coerced, or tortured out of the secret keeper. Let that sink in for a moment. The secret cannot be tortured out of the secret keeper. Now, think back to the original plan. Why did they switch from Sirius to Pettigrew? The entire justification was that Sirius was the obvious target, and they feared Voldemort would capture and torture him until he broke and gave up the secret. But if the charm itself magically prevents the secret from being extracted by torture, their entire strategic reasoning for the switch is completely fundamentally flawed. There was absolutely no reason to not use Sirius Black. He was their most loyal and powerful friend, and he would have died before willingly betraying them. The threat of torture, the very thing they were trying to avoid, was a non-issue. The magic of the charm itself would have protected the secret even if Sirius was captured. He could have been under the Cruciatus curse for a week straight, and Voldemort still would not have gotten the location of the Potter's house out of him against his will. This single rule invalidates the central betrayal of the entire series. The choice to make Pettigrew the secret keeper, the event that leads to the Potters' deaths, sends Sirius to Azkaban and makes Harry an orphan, was made based on a false premise. They were trying to solve a problem that the magic itself had already solved. It is a catastrophic failure of logic that undermines the emotional core of the story. So what happens if they follow the logical path? They make Sirius the secret keeper. Voldemort, as they predicted, goes after him. Voldemort captures Sirius and tortures him relentlessly. But it does not matter. The Fidelius charm holds strong. Sirius never willingly gives up the secret. The Potters remain safe in their home. Voldemort is eventually thwarted some other way. And Harry Potter grows up with his loving parents and his cool godfather who turns into a dog. The entire 7-book series as we know it simply does not happen. This is not a nitpick. It is a narrative black hole. J.K. Rowling either forgot her own rules or added the __quote_0___ rule later without realizing it completely negated the setup for the first book. Either way, it presents a problem that cannot be easily explained away. The whole tragedy of Harry's childhood and Sirius's wrongful imprisonment rests on a decision that, according to the established rules of magic, should never have been made. And that, my friends, might just be the biggest plot hole in Harry Potter.